All right, today we're cracking open what you might call the Manipulator's Toolkit. We're going to treat this as a kind of field guide, helping you spot 11 of the most common tactics people use to, twist things around and control situations. Let's get right into it. Have you ever been in one of those conversations where you walk away just feeling completely scrambled, like you're questioning your own memory? That feeling, it's like you're arguing with a ghost, where the facts you thought were solid just seem to vanish into thin air. Well, that's often a huge red flag that a subtle manipulation tactic is at play. So let's kick things off with a whole group of tactics that really have one main goal: to completely twist your reality. These are the ones designed to mess with your internal compass, your own personal GPS, and make you seriously doubt what you know is true. Okay, just picture this for a second. You are 100% positive you and your partner agreed to a beach trip for Saturday. You can literally replay the conversation in your head. But when you mention it, they hit you with this. They say it with such conviction that for a split second, you start to wonder, wait, did I just imagine that entire conversation? That classic move has a name. It's called gaslighting. It's this really insidious tactic where someone intentionally makes you doubt your own reality, your memories, even your own sanity. And fun fact, the term actually comes from a 1938 play called Gaslight, where a husband keeps dimming the gas-powered lights in their house, but then denies it over and over, all to make his wife think she's going crazy. And the way it works is just so sneaky. A gaslighter will flat out deny things you know for a fact happened. They'll tell you you're being too sensitive or you're just imagining things. It's not usually a one-time thing. It's this slow, steady erosion of your confidence until you start to become completely dependent on their version of what's real. Okay, let's break down two tactics that get mixed up all the time: projection and blame shifting. The key difference is this: projection is all about disowning your feelings, while blame shifting is about ducking the consequences for your actions. So blame shifting sounds like, well, you made me spill the milk. See? An action. Projection is more about feelings, like when a person who is constantly lying accuses everyone around them of being dishonest. And this really just nails the core idea, doesn't it? Both of these tactics are basically a game of emotional dodgeball. The whole point is to take your own yucky feelings or your own mistakes and just hurl them at someone else so you don't have to deal with them. All right, our next group of tactics is all about hijacking emotions. This is where totally normal human feelings, like love, empathy, guilt, get weaponized. They're turned into puppet strings to control you. So first up is lovebombing. Man, this is like a relationship in fast forward. On day 1, you're getting flowers, constant compliments. By day 3, you're apparently their soulmate. It's just this overwhelming fire hose of affection meant to get you completely hooked. But then the rug gets pulled. They suddenly go cold, leaving you scrambling to get that initial high back. And that's exactly when they get all the power. Ugh, the classic guilt trip. You hear a line like this and what happens? You immediately feel like a totally awful person, right? Instead of just saying, hey, I miss you and I'd like to see you, a manipulator takes this big detour through, as the source calls it, guilt city. The goal is to make you feel bad, so you'll change your behavior. Next on the list, we've got playing the victim. This is when someone throws on the poor me hat to get out of being held accountable. They get caught doing something they shouldn't have, but instead of just owning it, they launch into this Oscar-worthy performance about how hard their life is. It's a really slick way to tap into your empathy and make you feel guilty for even bringing it up. And the last one in this section is love withdrawal. This is basically the emotional cold shoulder. You have a small disagreement, and suddenly your partner stops all affection. They ignore your calls, your texts. They're pretty much hitting the pause button on love as a way to punish you, which of course makes you feel super anxious and desperate to fix things. Our final category is all about tactics that seize control by messing with communication itself. These are methods that use silence, create confusion, and drive wedges between people, all to hold on to power. So let's talk about two different kinds of silence. The silent treatment is what you'd call a hot silence. It's active. It's a passive-aggressive power play designed to punish you, and you can feel their anger. Stonewalling, on the other hand, is a cold silence. It's a complete shutdown, a total refusal to engage. It feels like talking to a brick wall, and it makes any kind of resolution totally impossible. Now let's run through the playbook for triangulation. It starts simple enough: a conflict between you and one other person. But instead of working it out, the manipulator pulls in a third person to be their ally. All of a sudden, it's not a one-on-one anymore. It's turned into some kind of reality TV show drama where you're outnumbered, and the power dynamic has completely shifted against you. Mirroring might be one of the most subtle tactics of all. This is when someone starts mimicking your way of talking, your hand gestures, even the values you say are important to you, all to create this false sense of a deep connection. Think of a salesperson who, what a coincidence, shares all of your same niche hobbies. They're trying to build instant, unearned trust to make you let your guard down. So after going through all of these different tactics, what's the big takeaway here? Well, the very first and honestly most powerful step you can take is just awareness. Simply recognizing these patterns for what they are is the beginning of taking back your emotional independence. Because here's the really crucial point. The real damage from all these tactics isn't just about one bad argument or one confusing day. The ultimate goal and the biggest danger is that over time, they completely erode your trust in your own mind. They're designed to make you question your feelings, your memories, and your entire perception of reality. And that really brings us to our final thought. If you think about your perception, your intuition as your own personal compass, well, we've just spent this whole time talking about all the ways people try to grab it and mess with it. So the question we want to leave you with is this: who are you letting hold your compass?